All right. Let's do a quick review of what happened last time, and we shall begin. Last time we started in the apparent home of Brynmore, the figure that you had seen previously in your travels upon the road, and now stumbled upon again as you traversed further into the Red Vivarium. You had called it an evening and decided to stay and sleep, get some rest, not to brave the creatures of the evening within this forest. As you rested, Nyx would awaken in the middle of the evening, having caught the sounds of heavy steps in the hallway just outside. Investigating, Nyx would find that Brynmore had awoken in the middle of the night and seemed to be doing something. Nyx would awake the others, all of you, kind of eventually, and would apparently start to make his way down the hall to investigate. And as he approached, for a split moment, he would have seen a distortion of Brynmore's apparent shadow in the hall, as if his neck had elongated and turned to look back. But as Nyx turned the corner, all seemed perfectly fine, normal. Maybe just a trick of the shadow. In any case, after some terse words, you all had some strange vibes going into the rest of the evening. Nobody really wanting to just kind of call it an evening, fall asleep, right? And so, Brynmore had business to attend to, apparently, and would take his leave, opening the door, revealing a faint red glow into the home before quickly shutting behind. Nervous about what might be going on, you decided to rest as a group in the living room, just to keep yourself safe and ensure that nothing untoward happens for the rest of the evening. And so, as morning came, you all got up and left after taking a few rations and maybe having a few bites to eat, just to kind of satiate yourselves for the rest of your travel forward. Not seeing Brynmore again, the evening or the morning. And so, the five of you kind of continued your quest further into the forest, and on your travels came across a strange stretch of ground. These almost invisible to the eye round mounds, kind of just lightly indented into the forest floor, almost completely camouflaged, but thankfully spotted and pointed out. And so you figured a path forward, having to kind of slowly shamble and scoot your ways as if walking across a high beam. You were able to lift up one of the mounds, and inside saw nothing but a hole disappearing down into the ground and darkness beyond. As you shimmied your way across this, almost like a minefield in a sense, it was about halfway across that the low rumble began, like a small earthquake ever so slightly kind of shifting the ground underneath you, feeling as though it was approaching. And so with this moment, you all rushed across. Dorina and Chester, unfortunately, falling into these pit traps, barely able to hold on, but still above ground. Thankfully, due to some quick thinking of the others, they were able to assist you, and the two of you crossed just as a mass of spiders started to erupt from the various pit traps. Rushing away, Dorina and Nyx, the two of you were nearest to spiders in the back. Furthest as the twins and Hoothead took off running ahead of you. Nyx would stop and scream out at the horde of spiders, wielding his weapon in hand, and strangely enough, it seemed to have an effect. The spiders themselves, the horde, kind of stopped in its tracks, kind of turning and unmoving towards the group. Nyx would then just kind of turn and continue to run. And it seemed as though spiders had kind of just let it be. Too far now, but too much distance away from their location, I call it. And so, physically pushing yourselves as hard as you can, you finally would rush through the forest until coming to a stop to catch your breath and decide on what is to come next. As you all settled, eventually a figure would reveal themselves to you. A well-camouflaged elf would step forward, asking if you were looking for sanctuary. Upon affirmation that you were, they would have smiled and bid you to follow them forward. That is where we begin. Let me go ahead and get some music going on my end, at least. And we shall see what happens. So, okay. All right. So, yeah, the long black hair. Yes, this a very obvious elf figure that had revealed themselves to you, kind of wearing this what looked to be like a ghillie suit of the red undergrowth and kind of nature of the red vivarium in general. If you hadn't have caught the eyes, they may have never revealed themselves to you, right? Simply just kind of staying and watching, unseen by you and unnoticed entirely. But you had. So, figure, very fair-skinned, the prominent elvish ears fully on display, the long black hair. The figure themselves pretty slender, as best as you can tell, but it's a little bit difficult because the kind of the ghillie suit that they're wearing, has a bunch of strange parts to it, kind of protruding, here and there. It makes it a bit difficult to kind of get a real read on what the actual kind of figure would look like, without said camouflage. So, as this figure kind of turns, kind of bidding you to follow, I assumed everybody would follow.
I think Coot would have followed straight away, and then also just taken a closer look, and then would their outline be any more revealing? As in, like, does that booty check out?
Would their outline be more revealing? In what sense? Sorry.
Because you said they were very androgynous
looking. Yeah, absolutely.
But does their outline, like, reveal anything more?
You want to take a closer look? Go and roll me a perception check. Yeah. Fucking. Let's see if we can read through the ghillie suit, to see what you might see beyond. Does that booty check out? Do they do squats? With a 12? Unfortunately, the ghillie suit is a bit unflattering in the worst of ways, right? So you unfortunately cannot really get a good read on the figure. And their back is still kind of turned to you, right? After kind of bidding you to follow them, they've just turned and continued to walk, and they're walking as if they're on a peaceful stroll through the forest. Which is kind of strange, I guess. It's a strange read for all of you, considering what you've experienced ever since you've entered into this the forest, right? The strange amalgam that nearly broke the bones in Mac's hand. The two rather large creatures in the dungeon, the maggots, and then this wave of spiders. And so, as they kind of turn and continue to walk, they will kind of call over their shoulder, just kind of speaking to you bluntly as a group. So, why do you seek out sanctuary? Just kind of, they don't turn to look at you. They don't, look to they just kind of call out over their shoulder as if speaking to the entire group.
We've heard rumors. We just like to see which ones are true.
I think we all have our own separate reasons for being here, but yes, it's mostly based on the rumors and want to really get a feel for the place and see what is going on in this part of the world.
You're not refugees or seeking
Well, in a sense, we are, because we are seeking shelter from the horrors that we've seen now, but not from the local continent. No.
Hmm. They'll kind of
What about
stop.
yourself?
Yeah, they'll kind of stop, unmoving, then kind of turn in place and kind of look back, particularly at you, Hood. Right, you've been the big talker so far. They'll look at you and kind of squint their eyes like they're trying to make a judgment here. They're gonna take a long sigh and then you are not spies for the solemn.
Depends which
spy.
solemn you mean.
Would he dress like that?
Spies come in many forms. Depending on the solemn, they kind of get a confused look in their face, like, this kind of alerts them in a negative way. Your choice of words here. They'll kind of like shift their body, where one half is kind of, kind of almost standing at their side, and you can see them kind of reach down to this very obvious weapon that kind of hang on their waist.
Who would just put his hands up straight away and be, don't be alarmed. There's really no need. It's just merely, it's been, as you can mostly tell from my appearance, it's been a long few days over here, and to be frank, I have sold information before, but it was never on this continent. So, I personally hail from around Phineas.
See.
Perhaps it would help you appreciate us more if I told you that I had an experience with a solemn before that was most unpleasant for both of us. Alas, I am the one still standing and wondering now.
I'm simply asking about the solemn Corbiano.
We've heard of him before, at least some rumors as we arrived on the island, but we've had no interactions. We've only seen, I think, what would be his work as we made our way through the lands, but we've had no interactions with him or any of his kin, as far as I can tell.
Kind of take a moment and then kind of pull their hand away from their blade. Well, then you are welcome into Sanctuary. They'll kind of, again, kind of turn their back to you and continue to lead further up ahead.
Just continuing what was said before, are you refugees yourself from one of the towns?
Yes, there are many of us who are displaced because of current events. Myself, I came here at the request of another to aid in the matters at hand. There are a number of us, and you get the feeling when they say us, they kind of mean you get the sense that they're talking about elves, right? Specifically. There are a number of us here with connections back to the Nea. And so I came to assist as best I could. Thankfully, much of our people have made it out of here, but I stay just in case there are others. Why come to a place that you know is embroiled in civil strife as it is now? Are you here to assist in the war effort? profit off the events yourselves?
I suppose that would depend if you would want the long or the short answer. And if we are, and he looks around, if we are safe here.
You will be safe when we arrive. But keep up. Safety in this forest can change at a moment's notice.
I'll try and keep up the sprint, but probably is still very tired after that hour of run and clutching his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep up, Hoot.
Yeah, keep up. Yeah. As you are continuing to just kind of almost like this, they're walking, like I said, they're walking at a pace that is, at least their form, would suggest that they're kind of on like a simple stroll through the forest, but for whatever reason, they are extremely quick, right? They move with like a grace that kind of betrays that. Sorry, I almost sneezed. But yeah, as you continue to push forward. What rumors have you heard of the sanctuary? I'm curious what they are saying beyond these borders. Any of you? Kind of turning and giving like a look that kind of an eye look that kind of just draws across the group.
Well, we have heard that you're all incredibly attractive. A little disappointed by the ghillie suit, I must admit.
Well, is requirement, at least out here. I do not care for it myself either, but it keeps me safe.
Might be an interesting thing for trade as well. That is one of the reasons I personally was interested to learn of the lands, and the rumors that have been spoken is that the forest has its own, well, I'd say magical discards that are quite unique to the region, and yeah, that could be once in a lifetime opportunity to see, really, and it nearly has been once in a lifetime.
Yeah, there are a number of artifacts left behind, both by time long past, but also Corbiano himself, who has kind of corrupted a large portion of these woods. Yeah, I guess if you're looking for treasures, that is certainly one motivation that can be fulfilled out here.
Treasures, and perhaps maybe even a place to stay for now. There's a lot going on the main continent as well at this time, so it might be nice to actually be sheltered in a forest such as this, even though, well, it has its own horrors.
Yeah. Within Sanctuary, though, things are well protected. Sanctuary itself is a small bastion of, I guess, a hope amidst all of this. Offering solace to those who seek safety from the horrors of the Civil War, as well as the sinister experiments conducted by Corbiano in these woods. There's a very obvious kind of sadness to the way they speak, right? They're very I want to say depressed, but it seems like they're very affected by the events that have happened here, right? And they're not attempting to hide them behind any kind of, false confidence or anything like that. They're kind of laying themselves out to bear as far as emotion goes. but still, as you kind of continue to follow along, eventually you'll see kind of up ahead there's a shift in the air almost, right? The fallen kind of crimson leaves that cover the forest floor shift to a bit more vibrant red, almost befitting their original form, you could say, right? Less corrupted, less of the life kind of pulled away from them. Even the air that you would all kind of notice as you continue to travel along, you didn't recognize it in the moment, but as you get away from it, it's almost like, whoa, right? Like there's a smell. The area that you're walking into, kind of venturing into, has like a more dampy, kind of earthy scent where you can kind of pick up like fragrances of essentially like the ancient trees, right? That as well as like a floral kind of scent hits the air, right? Seems like wherever you're heading has resisted much of the effects of the corruption of the forest. And as you kind of turn around, or come around like a patch of trees, the forest itself kind of opens up. The canopy is not so dense around you, but up ahead there is almost like a wall of massive, I guess the best real world description would be like the massive kind of like redwood trees. Huge, like absolutely huge. I think to give yeah, to give a bit of a description, I mean they dwarf you in size, right? They could almost be crafted into homes, right? Like you could almost build the home directly into the trunk of one of these massive trees. That's how kind of large they are, and it's almost like a foreboding wall. There aren't any obvious signs of like life. There's not clear, you know, like indentations, but it looks like a massive wall of trees. And as you get closer, the figure that has kind of been leading you forward will just kind of quickly stick their fingers in their mouth and kind of whistle loudly. It just kind of pierces the air quickly. And camouflaged into the tree itself, these kind of shooting ports will lower, right? And you'll see arrows and figures kind of looking through, getting a sight on who approaches. The figure will kind of stop and turn and look back to you all. This is Sanctuary. I am sure your journeys in this forest have not been kind to you, but I assure you that here things will be much safer for you, at least until we are discovered. As you'll kind of wait, the figure that has been leading you will kind of do a few hand gestures into the direction of the trees, and then again like it wasn't there before, but now as it opens, almost like a drawbridge, a chunk of the tree will kind of slowly start to drop down, revealing a gate beyond, and what looks to be like an entire community beyond it. And it will just kind of lead you forward. The gate itself is iron, and it's, again, all this seems like embedded into the trunks of these trees, and it'll slowly start to kind of crank itself up. as you all step into Sanctuary. So, as you step in, there are a number of people here. Some kind of gather around close to the drawbridge and to the gates, watching as as the 6 of you step through the gates and into the, I guess you can call it like a village, right? Or like a city, some sort. Beyond it, it's very obvious that a lot of these people are have seen a lot, wearing essentially rags compared to what they might have been. They all kind of gather around, and a few of them will approach, specifically trying to gather the attention of your guide so far. And the guy will kind of brush them off, and then tell them like, I'll see you in just a moment. So as you step in, the drawbridge itself will kind of pull itself back up, and the gate will kind of shut behind you. And so the figure will kind of turn to you. Well, you're inside now. I wish you the best of luck with whatever your motivations, your intentions are here. You are safe. So.
Given that you appear to know your way around here, perhaps I may ask you something. I have heard of most spectacular grapes growing in this area, which I was hoping to sample on my journey here. Would you be able to point us in the direction for that?
Grapes. I kind of think, I think it is best you speak to they kind of look out into the this kind of city that's essentially crafted in just the middle of all of these trees that kind of use as a wall surrounding the city. There's one in this community by the name of Luciana. I believe she.
Luciana?
Yeah, Luciana. I believe she is most. Sorry. I think she's most knowledgeable. She is a wine maker herself, and provides much of it to the city.
That is exceptional. I thank you dearly. And she would kind of nod gracefully.
Okay. Do any of you need some directions as far as what you're looking for here? Is there anything I can help you navigate yourself, Sword? Alright.
Mac is just gonna go. Nah, I'm just gonna look around.
Okay. Well,
We love exploring.
you are free to entertain yourselves as however you wish. Yeah. So, well, it was a pleasure to meet you upon the path here, and maybe our paths shall cross again. And
Perhaps one question of you're clearly the ghillie suit. Not looking at other people, I see that they might not have it, and I guess it's reserved for scouts. And as we might, well, for now, I'm guessing we'll be at least remaining in Sanctuary. But do you happen to have any other armors like that? As you can see, mine rather stands out, and well, at least not so much in this forest. But I think it would be rather nice to have something that blended in.
Mac will look offended about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The figure kind of look up and down. As far as armors go, I'm sure you can find something within the community. There are many craftsmen and workers who have been displaced, who are trying to, survive. I'm sure they would appreciate the patronage. But here, and they will actually kind of reach up and they will unclasp this ghillie suit kind of cloak that they're wearing over their shoulders. They'll kind of quickly pull it off, and as they do so, they swing it over, up and around your shoulders, and kind of lay it on top of yours, and then kind of quickly clasp it in across the kind of like where the neck is, so to speak. This should work out for you a bit. At least it'll cover up the very unique armor that you're wearing.
It was custom made, but yeah, thank you very much.
So it's a choice?
It was someone's choice, yes.
I see. Okay. Well, now more revealed. The figure again, as I said kind of previously, very androgynous in looks. But now that the ghillie suit has kind of come off, how the fuck do I say this? I guess you're, yeah, yeah, I don't know. Because you said you were trying to see previously, right? Through the ghillie suit. Yeah, the figure is just very androgynous. Even still now, as they remove the ghillie suit portion of their clothing, you're still not entirely sure. You'd have to.
So
you'd have to see it.
Hourglass figure.
Yeah, no hourglass figure. Yeah, but also not not extreme, like the typical characteristics of biological male. Either. Just kind of give you a nod. Well. And yeah, well, Luciana, if you're looking for armor, there's one in the city. Aelia. They use many of the forest natural offerings to craft a number of armors, cloaks, and things of that nature. I think even weapons on hand. And I guess if you are looking to involve yourselves and help with what's going on, or maybe get some direction as far as if you're looking for things within the forest itself, artifacts and such, the one to speak to is Adrian Dragos, the, I guess you can call the de facto leader of Sanctuary. It's actually right there, kind of like point out, and you'll see this figure standing like amongst a group of kind of like refugee looking people, or people who are displaced, and he's currently kind of passing out loaves of bread, baskets of food, and things of that nature, kind of giving out rations and such. And Adrian, they are clearly wearing like heavier armor. they also have, very similar to the ghillie suit that has now been given over or gifted over to Hoot, across their shoulders. Again, much like the forest itself, the crimson red leaves and such. It's almost like a cloak with that same color. They are also elvish. Very, I say this one, very masculine. More so than your average elf. Potentially a half elf. There are many human features here as well, but they're broad, kind of shouldered, short hair that just kind of is pushed back out of the face, and they have facial hair, so that's another thing. So they're kind of just in the middle of passing out goods to people who are in need. So.
Well, my vote is we go help them out, hey? And Chester's gonna like put his arm around like Hoot and like nod to Mac to do the same to like the other side.
And Mac will.
Yeah, exactly. So we're both leaning on Hoot and like dragging him away towards this leader. As I assume, well, Tarina can come or choose to do her own thing, but we would wave goodbye if Tarina is not coming.
Who are you going to for now?
The leader, Adriano, I think it was.
Oh yeah, no, I've got to go there as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adrian
There you go.
Dragos.
Adrian. Okay.
Yes.
Alright.
Okay. So Hoot, I guess all four of you, right?
Yep.
You say your goodbyes, right? Kind of giving nods, and then the guide will kind of go towards speaking to others. And as you approach, the warrior, the de facto leader, I guess you can call him, Adrian, kind of look up. New faces. There's always a pleasant sight to see.
We are very pleasant.
We are honored. I would intervene before the rudities escalate.
Yeah, just like shove Chester away.
No need to be so formal. He'll kind of look at you directly, Dorina. I see that Valeria has guided you in to the sanctuary. How did you stumble upon them?
We managed to, escape some, I think it were natural spiders, just as we rested for a moment. I spotted the outline.
Chester's like, excuse me.
Yeah. You made it past our defenses.
The outline of the person, not the outline of the spider.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Mac is just gonna go like, yeah, good thing we got out of there because who was looking really hungry for those spiders?
You eat spiders?
On occasion, I've tried the local maggots, but you know how things go. Like, if you're living in the forest and you don't have any rations, you have to get by somehow.
Just like miming, like vomiting in the back.
Yeah. Adrian's kind of looking at you, Chester, as you're doing that. Kind of listening to Hoot, but also kind of looking at you. Interesting diet, anyways. How can I help you? Do you need some directions? Do you need some, what is it that has brought you, to Sanctuary? What are you in need of something? Are you looking to assist? What's...
Mac's nose is just gonna be like crinkled when he asks if he wants to help.
We can be persuaded.
Persuaded.
Just to
I think all of us would like to have a chat with you. If we could.
Yes, we'd like to learn more before we really get involved. Just well, get sort of the local scoop of what is going on, and well, a bit of the lay of the land, I guess.
Fair enough. Just give me one moment to finish, and we can retire to my, I guess an office is what you can call it. I was gonna say chambers, but then the implication there is a little weird, huh?
Yeah,
so,
take us to their chambers.
Yeah.
You know exactly where Beef and I were gonna go with that.
Exactly, exactly. And that's why I was like, wait a minute, what word should I use? Your office, I guess. To my whatever. And yeah, so he'll kind of like quickly enough reach into the back of the wagon and kind of pull out the last of the goods, so to speak, and kind of hand them out to people who are in need. And there's enough for everybody. Kind of goes around. Even people who are kind of sharing from their own baskets with others. You know, one person may want something a bit more than the other, right? They'll kind of, like trading lunch items, right? You know, at the lunch table back in the day. But
I think looking at that, Hoot will take out his backpack and also just offer up one of his rations to the people that seem to be trading a bit and might be low on some. You can take this. I can hunt for food, and I've still got some left over.
Hope we can have a spider conversation.
Yeah, they'll look. The one you offer to will say it's just like like an older, I don't know, human. It's kind of like the older human man just kind of like looks at you and then looks back. Actually looks over to Adrian, almost like for permission in this moment. And Adrian's just gonna kind of give a quick nod, and they'll kind of reach out and take the ration. Thank you very much. Adrian kind of step forward and places a hand on your shoulder, Hoot. As he does so, give me a will saving throw.
Oh.
Okay, well.
A 20. Okay. As the hand kind of grabs onto your shoulder, you don't feel as though this is like an intentional effect, but for a moment you feel a sense of safety and ease, right? Almost like the presence of this person is alone enough to kind of calm you down and instill like a sense of safety. But as they kind of hold onto your shoulder for a moment, they'll kind of that is incredibly kind of you to offer food directly out of your own bag. I mean, I'm sure they much appreciate it, but I also appreciate it.
I can only guess what everyone here has been through, having gone through the forest as well, and it's seemingly fitting to share, as you are seemingly thriving as a community. So I'm just assuming that it's something that should be done if one has to survive it.
He kind of smiles. It's like very genuine, right? It's like just a slight smile. It kind of just nods along with your words. Well then, follow me, and I can answer any questions you may have, and do what I can for you. So you kind of quickly turn and heading into another one of these tree trunks, right? There's a door. It's a full building on this side, but on the opposite side, it's obviously like a wall of some sorts. Yeah, kind of heading on in. The interior, there's a lot of activity in here. It's almost like the command center of, the resistance, I guess you can call it, right? there are a number of kind of people talking back and forth. There's a lot of activity as people are kind of shooting each other information, like scouts in the southern sector have reported, right, a number of things going on. And as he walks in, that like all of them will kind of turn and give Adrian the attention, like for a brief moment before immediately kind of getting back to the chaos of everything that is going on. And Adrian just kind of lead through, following close to the rear, and then turning around a corner before coming to a large kind of wooden door and just kind of opening it. And on the inside, it's like a nice large office. There are a couple of, I guess you call them, I guess a daybed is what it would be called, right? There are a number along the sides of the wall. There's even a small fireplace, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but I guess the wood here is so thick that it's not likely to kind of go up entirely. It's not the fanciest like interior. It looks kind of like a mess, or a mix of natural stuff that would have been found in the Red Vivarium, kind of thrown together hastily to create some sort of comfort. But the daybeds themselves actually look very well crafted. And so as you kind of enter in, Adrian will kind of walk right over and sit down on one of these daybeds and just kind of lean, half laying, half sitting on their side, and just kind of to kind of direct you to sit where you please. There are a number of chairs around, and you can sit anywhere, wherever you would like. Another one of the daybeds,
Yeah, Mac and Chester will like lay across the daybed.
Yeah, fair enough.
Snuggling.
Extremely
We're
informally.
snuggling.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty informal in his placement too. He's not like sitting up like what you would expect. He kind of lays back and relaxes as well, right?
Yeah, and we're probably also like jumping onto the bed, like just flopping.
Yeah, just
Okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
exactly. It's like a very dramatic flop.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So, you just flop down. The others of you kind of sit as you please. Adrian himself will kind of offer the other half of the daybed that he is kind of half laying on to anybody who would like to sit down.
I'll definitely take it. And sitting down, I would like to just very barely brush against him.
Okay.
As I'm doing so, I would love to deeply inhale to read the air.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because I want to make an impression on this guy in the next move.
Fair enough. All right. So then, I guess so. You recall knowledge using society, so you make a society check really quick.
Okey-dokey.
And then, I think the benefits of that, right, give you a bonus to the diplomacy check. Whenever you do attempt to make an impression, so it's like a. You have a hero point.
Or they just,
I will
this guy
use
just
my hero point.
really likes how casual the rest of us are being.
Yeah.
Oh, that's better.
Perfect. Okay, then you absolutely get the bonus, so you're good to go. And yeah, so getting like I guess here's more of the social context of things. Yeah, it's very informal, right? And I'll say that gives you a benefit, in the sense that how do we say it? I'll say you read the air in such a way that your next attempt at diplomacy, right, to kind of make an impression on this person, it's gonna be, you're gonna be vibing, right? You're gonna be like on the same wavelength as them, and
That's fantastic.
to right now that comes across as like very informal, very relaxing, very of that nature. So yeah, absolutely, you'll have that +1 bonus to the next diplomacy check. So as everybody kind of takes a seat and gets comfortable. Well, so what questions can I, what questions do you have for me? Do not hesitate. I will answer as best as I can.
There once was a rumor that struck my ear about a strange object hidden away in these lands, possibly. It would be for my father, you see. He struggles with a horrible affliction that doesn't let him taste anything. It was rumored that there's something here that can restore that and make anyone taste that which they eat. Would you ever have heard of that? And as I'm saying that, I would very slowly pull out a very fancy bottle of wine, which I'm slowly presenting to him as a thank you for taking us in.
Okay. And is this the attempt to make an impression? Okay.
Yep.
Then I'll say you get the +1 status bonus because of read the air, but also say pulling out the wine is a smooth move. So we'll make that a +3 to whatever you roll. So go ahead and make me a diplomacy check. And then I guess just mental math, we can just add 3 to whatever you roll. So an 18.
18, okay.
Yeah, it's very positive. You'll kind of smile and without hesitating, we'll kind of like, you know, reach out and accept the gift of the wine and kind of pull it back and take a look at it. This is I don't even have to open this to see that this is of a fine make. Seems to even rival our own Luciana. An item that helps one taste again.
Precisely.
There are a number of artifacts that can be found, particularly with traits of restoration. I believe, or at least it is the belief of those of us here, that Corbiano was experimenting with these to beyond restore, if that to add, to bolster life, unnaturally so. I can only assume that maybe there's surely something either in our own cache or within the forest that would certainly do such a thing.
Chester and I assume Mac are kind of probably sitting up a lot straighter right now. Chester will kind of interject and be like, "We're looking for something too, in the same kind of vein."
Well, many of the artifacts that are within these woods are he's kind of thinking much of the artifacts or of our own well, I say our but they have been so lost to time that it is almost untrue to claim it in such a way, but a lot of the artifacts that had these healing properties, these restoration properties, were corrupted by Corbiano's touch. He deceived his way into the original community within the Red Vivarium, and from there took much of our people's life's work and bent it to his own will. That being said, we are often coming across a number that have not yet fallen to corruption. what type of help or what type of restoration are you looking for particularly?
Is he asking me or Chester?
Chester in this moment. Because with you is the
Yeah.
taste thing. Yeah.
Chester kind of looks at Mac for a second. Kind of asking him to speak.
Mac will he will take the reins then. And he'll go, we're looking for something that can, I guess, reverse some problems that happened.
Like a curse?
Well,
well, I guess it could be considered a curse.
stabbing.
Yeah.
It kind of squints his eyes and he looks between the two of you, and then his eyes settle on you, Chester. For you, like questioning, but like for you, right? You're looking for something for yourself, you in particular.
Yes.
Huh.
Chester doesn't seem like he wanted to reveal that information, but
Yeah, hesitant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adrian just kind of nod his head. Yes, I believe at least that we have something that could I'm not sure that anything that we have can completely reverse the effects, but can certainly help towards that direction. Provide relief. Maybe, I mean, there is a location within the woods that we have yet to explore ourselves, mostly because we do not have the numbers to ensure it is cleared out and everything is seen to. But many of our artifacts lie there, and I think if there's any chance of something like that within our possession, well, unfortunately it's not within our possession, it would likely be there.
This would help you too, right?
Absolutely. We have been looking to scout it and clear it out ourselves. We are certain that a number of Corbiano's experiments reside within, but I just with everything going on, I haven't had the ability to put together a group to head that direction.
What if we help with that?
Well, he's kind of thinking, if you could, then there is an opportunity that once we are able to inventory the location, that you would have first grabs on any of the items within your choice. That is how things work here. If you assist, anything you assist with, you have first right. There's
like a plan.
There's a location within the wood, not too far from here, actually. In its time, during my people's stay, it was what you would call a hospital of sorts, where we tended to those in need, healing and restoration things of that approach. Corbiano, he did a lot of terrible things in this location. Even still now, it is a very difficult place to be mentally. It plays tricks on your mind, and whatever magic that has corrupted itself and stayed there since Corbiano's departure, it is no simple task of walking in and out. But if you could, then this would be the place that has the best opportunity at finding something, anything within that could reverse your ailment. Looking at you, Chester.
You know, a lot of people are saying stuff about this Quibiano guy, but what did he actually do?
He kind of sits up here, right? He was laying down kind of over, but now he kind of sits up. He puts his feet on the ground, and he'll kind of lean forward, kind of resting his elbows on his knees, and kind of crossing his fingers, right, like holding them. And he'll kind of look off, almost like he's looking back at memories. When he first arrived, he seemed right in place with the rest of us. The things that we did, much of our magic here seems to be given to us by the very forest itself. He took things, creatures that are all but gone now. He infused them with occult and necromantic magics, and under our very own eyes, promising us it was all just an attempt to see what we could do, right? Growing our powers at restoration, and so that maybe we could one day leave these shores and help those beyond, across Ekros. But yeah, I mean, there are tales of people that were brought into that location, and just dismantled by his magic. The creature, if you've had any run-ins with any of the strange physical creatures, and he kind of describes like one of the amalgam, right, that you've previously run into. At one time,
Like
those
the
were
one Mac and Darina were holding hands with.
yeah.
Oh god.
At one time, those were living people just like you or I, and through his twisted magics, he has turned them into what you see, and the mind beyond is gone. Whoever they were, whatever they were, previous to their interactions with Corbiano, what remains is just a shell to do Corbiano's will, and that is further corrupt this forest, which we are doing our best at not allowing to happen.
It's truly horrifying. Say, the other day in the forest, I witnessed a distant red fog moving intelligently through the woods Would you associate that with him as well, or is that just something that's been here before?
Red Fog kind of smiles and laughs a bit. This has always been a part of these woods. So that is not associated with Corbion. That is what you would find naturally within these woods, as well as others that are similar.
She would nod slowly. That's a small comfort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, although still very dangerous. Still to be avoided, but but a natural danger of this forest, not something that was crafted to destroy it.
I see. I understand. Well, it is a pleasure to speak to somebody so knowledgeable and wise about these lands.
He kind of brushes it off, like he is uncomfortable being uncomfortable with compliments. Right? Kind of like, yeah. In any case, if you could assist with that, then you would have, as I've said, first right to anything found within.
Well, sounds like a plan, right, Hoot?
It does indeed. It kind of comes to question that. What you are all doing exactly. I guess you're trying to mostly survive and go against what is going on outside. Am I correct in assuming that?
Yes, as I think, as you can tell, there's something a bit different about here than the rest of the forest beyond.
Yes, indeed.
What was here? What is here now is the way these woods originally were. Everything beyond is because of Corbiano. And we are trying to protect that. Go ahead.
Can I ask how big the town is?
Yeah, I mean it's quite large. The huge trees that kind of scale around. It's not like I would say it's not like a massive city, but it's like a nice village, and it seems like the village scales up the side of these huge trees. Like they're massive. So like at the center, if you were to be at the bottom and kind of look up, you would see like a community basically all kind of built into the trunk of these massive trees all around, right? So although like from one end to the other is not very large, it's probably a couple of 100 feet from one end to the other, but the place scales vertically very much, right? So there's
more
a lot
skyscrapery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And so there's a lot going on like above your head. And so yeah, so but you get the feel, I mean, from what you saw, you assume that there's at least a couple of thousand people here. Right. Based on what you've seen so far. And potentially more beyond. There are kind of, scouts and such out in the forest. But yeah, so to describe again, yeah, just attempting to maintain this place and its people, and return it to what it once was before the touch of Corbiano defiled this location. how about for this evening? You rest here. I'm sure your path here has not been easy. Find yourselves comfortable. Then, if you truly wish to help us with this, then maybe you
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
yeah, okay.
Mac is gonna kind of like just be like thinking a little bit, and then he's gonna go, so what does this Quibiano guy look like?
Kind of strangely enough, like nothing special. But what he's capable of is beyond anything that I could do. As a solemn, he is well beyond the power of any within this community. And I think the only reason that we survive truly is because he does not come to finish the job himself. I do not think this place would hold against him directly. Visually, though, I mean, as all solemns, you cannot see his eyes, but like a man. Are you looking for like specific appearance details? That's like a meta question.
Yeah, Mac was just like thinking like, have we seen this person before? Like squinty eyes.
Oh,
But-
no, yeah, no. No, because solemns, the one thing that solemns can't do is hide their appearance beyond the eyes. So if you were to ever attempt to kind of look at one in the eyes, you would see just like a blur basically from the cheeks to the forehead, so to speak. So as powerful as solemns are, they cannot, even with yeah, even with magic, they cannot disguise that part of their nature.
Yeah, so they'd just be like instantly recognizable as.
Exactly.
So okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that was like the question.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Well then, I will see to it that you all have comfortable rooms to rest in. I'm sure he looks over at you, Donina. I'm sure you're interested in speaking with Luciana, and I think she would be very interested in speaking with you. Kind of looks down at the bottle you offered him. Kind of looks down at the bottle you offered him. It may be best that you offer this to her. Not that I am not interested in this, and I do not want you to be offended. As he kind of offers it back to you. But Luciana's not so nice. And something like this might really help with earning at least an opportunity to speak with her.
Well, I do appreciate your advice most kindly, and I must admit I'm unspeakably excited to talk to this person now. Who knows? It's often the distant and silent ones who hold the interesting secrets, I suppose.
Yeah. Indeed. Well, then, feel free to explore, to wander around. And I will send somebody with word that will guide you to rooms and a location for you to rest this evening. I think for now, I have overstayed my welcome upon this 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 daybed, and I must return to governing this place as best as I can. So, thank you all.
It is quite exquisite craftsmanship. Is it also something that is sourced locally?
Indeed, yes. Many of the workers here are locals, and I'm not sure if you are aware, but the Enclave has a long history of craftsmanship, and so.
I've dabbled in some woodcrafting myself, and I've seen on our route that it is there's quite some exquisite things wherever we went. So it would be interesting to learn about that as well. But I suppose if there's many locals who know about that, we could wander around and question that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, then enjoy your stay, and if you are to change your mind, it would not be, we would not hold it against you by any means. Traveling and, clearing these locations out is no easy task, so, this is our battle to fight. It's, not yours to take upon yourselves, but, yeah, if you, do not worry if you are unable to see it through. But kind of stretches, stands up and kind of stretches. Well, then, if you have any other questions, feel free to seek me out. I am not difficult to find, and I wish you the best. And what kind of he kind of stands there like waiting for you all to get up and get out. So. Kind of like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I think Chester and Max, well, I won't speak for Milk, but I always just assume the twins do the same thing because we always have the same ideas. Would, leave pretty quick. They got the information they wanted and they're happy.
Yeah.
Absolutely same.
Okay. Well, then the five of you kind of exit out, and as you make your exit, I think I think this is this is where I gotta call it fucking dying.
You're okay,
So-
Trill, but I can tell you're sweating in the heat.
I'm straying,
You are
yeah.
waning.
Some stuff. I
Yeah.
tried to carry some stuff now and then, but I wasn't sure where you were going.
Yeah, I'm straying. So, thank you all for playing. Yeah, a bit of a shorter one. Obviously, because the fucking heat in this room is ridiculous. But, yeah. So thank you all for playing. Let me go ahead and sign on the stream and stuff, but I'll be back in just a second. And yeah, appreciate it. So yeah, a short session this time. It is insanely hot here. And unfortunately, the room that my office, is much too difficult to withstand. So, yeah, even any type of moving air just seems to do nothing. I'm dying in the seat. So, thank you all for watching. We'll be back this Friday for the downtime and community world building stream, where we'll be going over this week's idea, which is essentially a world building idea, which is something we do in the community where I post an idea and then people just kind of suggest things. If you'd like to get involved, the best place to be is in the Discord. This campaign cycle is coming to its end shortly. And so if you'd like to get involved in the community or potentially have a chance at being a player in a future game, the best place to be is the Discord, as that is the place I reach out to first whenever I'm looking for new players. So thank you all for watching. We'll be back this Friday. This world building idea this week is actually a free-for-all, so there's a huge mix of the things we'll be seeing: NPCs, some history stuff, I think even a text-based role-playing thing that we may introduce into the Discord itself. So yeah, we'll be going over a lot this Friday. So thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good day or good evening, depending on where you are in the world, and maybe we'll see you this Friday. If not, we'll see you when we see you. So have a good one. Hope you all have a good one, and peace.